Legend. Now, who can tell us what this word means? Anyone? What about you, Alex?
Well, it's like a fairy tale. It's a lie that people believe in because they don't know the real reason for things.
That's very good, Alex.
Just because something's a legend doesn't mean it's not true.
They are the legends we've all heard. The stories we've all told. The tales we all listen to. Here is another episode of NBA Urban Legends. The similarities that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant share are obvious. They certainly have a lot in common. We all know this, but you might not have known that they also had a similar experience in the NBA Finals. They both had themselves a flu game. Well, kinda. Obviously, Jordan's flu game has been talked about for quite some time now, but Kobe's food poisoning incident seems to have been forgotten. The story goes that when the Lakers were playing the Kings in the Western Conference Finals, one night, Kobe ordered himself some room service in a Sacramento hotel, and then, shortly after, Kobe began vomiting and experiencing extreme diarrhea for the next 5 to 6 hours after consuming the food, and it was believed that a bacon cheeseburger was the culprit. Now, here's where things get really strange. Kobe's trainer, Gary Vitti, strongly believed that the New Jersey mob was behind it all, who made a heavy bet that the Nets would win the finals. It's speculated that they were anticipating that the Lakers would be the ones to advance to the NBA Finals, so they decided to try to take Kobe out early by poisoning him before the Western Conference Finals had even finished, in order to make it easier on the Nets. That's how threatened they were by Kobe's abilities. The hotel said that they served a total of 300 burgers that night, but no one else got sick. Only Kobe was the one who felt ill, which just makes it even more suspicious, as if he was the only target. Kobe's trainer said that Bryant actually wanted Mexican food initially, but changed his mind because he feared that it might make him feel sick. Quote, "I better not. It might mess up my stomach." But it looks like he should have gone with that instead of the bacon cheeseburger at the hotel. So what do you guys think about the possibility that the New Jersey mob tried to get Kobe sick before the 2002 NBA Finals? Which, if true, their efforts obviously did not work, considering the Nets were easily swept in the series. On the morning of May 15th, 1997, Reggie Miller was told some terrible news. He was informed that his house was on fire, and it was later determined that it was arson, which meant that someone intentionally set the fire. But fortunately, no one was harmed because Reggie had just literally bought that house. He was still staying at his old place at the time of the fire because he hadn't quite moved into that new one yet.
I remember getting a call at 4:30 in the morning. "There's a fire at your house." I'm like, "No, there's not. I'm at the house. I'm at my house." It's like, "No, your new house." I'm like, "What?"
Miller offered a large money reward for any information that could lead to the suspect. Well, maybe that wasn't necessary, because it looks like Jalen Rose knew exactly who did it all along. This is where the urban legend comes into play. In 2013, Jalen was in Bloomington, Indiana for college game day. The big game was between Michigan and Indiana, and after the game, legend has it that Jalen Rose attended a party full of Indiana students. Well, actually, that's not an urban legend at all, because there is actual photo evidence that he did party it up after the game. Several pictures, in fact. And during that night, it was said that Rose revealed some interesting pieces of information. You see, people claim that they saw him drinking, and maybe a little bit too much, as he went into storytelling mode. First, he said that MJ's flu game was actually a hangover. Okay, nothing new there. Then claimed that he could hit 17 out of 23s right there on the spot. That's pretty cool, I guess. But the third statement that came out of his mouth during the party was the most telling. He said he knew for a fact that Reggie Miller's ex-wife, Marita, was the one who burned down his house. Now, who knows if what he said was true, but all I'm saying is, why would he just blurt that out for no reason? Did he just reveal the answer that everyone wanted to know back in 1997 during a college party in 2013? I mean, Jalen has been known to have a big mouth. Incredibly, there's actually plenty of footage at our disposal of Michael Jordan playing people one-on-one. You would think that it would be more rare, so kudos to him for having some fun. But there was this one alleged one-on-one game that supposedly went down that I wish we could have saw. Back in 2013, there was this rumor floating around that Michael Jordan actually beat Michael Kidd Gilchrist in a one-on-one game. People made a pretty big deal about this at the time because, if you remember, Kidd Gilchrist was a young 19-year-old rookie who was the second overall pick, and Jordan had just turned 50 years old. He literally showed him who's boss. This was back when the Charlotte Bobcats were still in existence, and of course, we all had many questions that needed to be answered. Like, what was the score? And more importantly, why was there no video of this matchup? That's certainly unfortunate for us fans, but at least we got to hear it straight from one of the horses' mouths.
You actually talked about playing Michael Jordan one-on-one, and he actually beat you. What was that experience like playing, a lot of people say is the greatest player of all time? What was that experience like playing him one-on-one?
It was a dream come true. Made a dream come true. That's really about it. That's my boss, so.
He went on to say that in no way did he let MJ win. He said he actually did try, but failed. Now obviously, just because Michael beat one of his players doesn't mean he considered coming out of retirement. And sadly, we're forced to just use our imagination when it comes to this mysterious one-on-one game. Back in early 2011, the Memphis Grizzlies were heading back home after a road win against the Lakers, and the Grizzlies, specifically OJ Mayo and Tony Allen, decided to relax on the plane ride home by playing some cards. And let's just say that it was far from a friendly game. GM Chris Wallace confirmed that an incident had in fact gone down on the plane. It was reported that OJ Mayo lost more than $1,000 to Tony Allen during the card game, and when Allen asked Mayo to settle his gambling debt, Mayo refused to pay up, and then he got up in Tony Allen's face because he was pissed that he lost. Now, Allen actually chose the high road at first by excusing himself to the bathroom, but when he returned, Mayo continued to repeatedly insult him. Allen did warn Mayo to watch his mouth, but when he wouldn't listen, Tony struck him in the face, leading to total chaos as their teammates had to separate them. And by all accounts, Allen got the better of Mayo and supposedly left Mayo with a noticeably swollen face. OJ Mayo was out of the lineup for their very next game with apparently bronchitis, but we all know the real reason he wasn't able to suit up. So those were some NBA urban legends that have been floating around for quite some time. I personally believe they are 100% true, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.